So it is 3:48 in the morning, and we're getting ready to head to the airport in Cancun to fly to Puebla. And Linda, why are we doing this so early?
Sounded like a good idea.
Yeah, it sounded like a good idea.
You get an early start, the early bird catches the worm, something.
Yeah, and any other sayings we can think about. So we got bloodshot eyes and everything. This is too early. It's too early to travel. All right, let's go. Hey everybody, Q Paul here.
And Linda, hi.
Welcome to the channel. We don't always see Linda in the videos, but this one is about travel, and she is the person in the family who organizes all of the travel for us.
If I didn't do it, he'd never go anywhere.
No, I'm more the homebody type. But now that we don't really have a home, we don't have many choices but to kind of travel around.
Gotta keep moving.
Yep, keep moving. So in this video, we're going to be talking about our recent trip to Puebla, Mexico. Puebla is definitely my favorite larger city in Mexico. It's the fourth largest city in the country and the fourth largest metropolitan area in the country.
Wow.
And normally I don't like the big cities at all. I kind of prefer the towns kind of around the size, maybe 50,000 or so. And that definitely is not Puebla. Puebla is a huge place.
But I think you don't really notice it as much in Puebla because you have different areas. So you have down the center, which is colonial, and you have other areas that are more shopping and big shopping plazas, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think
so
it's laid out pretty well.
Out, yeah,
it's laid out really well. So Puebla is located in the interior of the country, and the flight from Cancun was probably 2 hours?
Yeah, about 2 hours.
It's about a 2-hour flight, and Linda booked the early flight, the very early flight. Why'd you do that, Linda?
It seemed reasonable. You get there early, get going,
Yeah,
wasting time. Early bird catches the worm.
Yeah. So we flew on Volaris, and the round trip tickets were...
It was about $150 per person round trip from Cancun to Puebla.
And then the hotel where we stayed, that ran...
That was about $87 a night for both of us, and that included a continental breakfast for both. So that was pretty nice.
Yeah, it was pretty nice, and the location was perfect for walking to different things. And as far as getting to different locations, we would usually choose Uber. Uber does work there, or sometimes a taxi. Yeah. The Uber was very inexpensive.
Extremely.
Extremely inexpensive. We took a trip out to...
Valquirico, and that was a 40-minute ride out there. I think the price was what, $8?
$8 for the Uber for a 40-minute ride. Since we're on Valquirico, one of the places where we went, you want to tell them a little bit about that?
Well, we kind of got familiar with it the last time we went to Puebla. It's a residential development, but it also has restaurants, shops, little bars, music, entertainment, and it's all designed to look like a Tuscan city. So when you're there, you kind of feel like you're in Italy. It looks beautiful. Everything's cobblestone streets. And
she loves Italy, so I think we can check Italy off now that we've been to Italy this year.
That was just to appease me a little bit.
Yeah.
That's all.
That was. But it's very commercial, but it was still a fun place to visit, So we flew into Puebla. Puebla is at 7,000 feet above sea level, and I'm not very accustomed to that kind of altitude. And when we got there early, like we said, and so we couldn't have our room yet. So I'm kind of carrying a backpack with some computers.
Two backpacks, because he was very gentlemanly, and he carried mine.
Ah, yes, I did. And then we're walking around for 2 hours, and then I started to feel like I got hit by a truck. The altitude really hit me. And I spent the next day and a half just kind of laying around in the
You pretty much stayed in bed.
Yeah, the same thing happened to me once when I went to Bogota, and that's at 8,000 feet above sea level. And I did too much the first day. I went to the gym, did a couple sets.
We warned him.
Yeah. That's how you learn.
Apparently you didn't.
I didn't. I did too much on this. So I had a little day and a half that I was down, and which wasn't fun for Linda. What did you end up doing?
Well, in the meantime, I found out that the hotel had a really nice spa, and they had some really good prices. So I did a 2.5-hour spa treatment that had a chocolate exfoliating scrub all over your body. Then they did a chocolate wrap for your whole body. They did a 1.5 hour massage, foot and hand spa.
Sounds expensive.
No, it wasn't.
Everybody knows the spas at hotels are very expensive.
No. This was like $99, something like that. I don't even think it was 99. It was 90, maybe 93, 95.
For all of that?
For all of that, 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
And see, in the Riviera Maya, where we normally are, if you go to a hotel spa, you are not getting
we never
those
really
prices.
get treatments at the hotel spas in the Riviera Maya.
No, they're just too pricey. But apparently in Puebla, was not bad at all.
No.
So, day and a half, I'm down, but boom, I'm back up. So we're ready to go.
Finally.
Checking out the city. And one of the neat things about Puebla is some of the other places you can go visit. So what we did is we went ahead and hired, a private tour guide just to take us wherever we wanted to go.
Yeah, we kind of just said, hey, can you take us to the places that we want to go to? Maybe spend about an 8-hour day. And we choose where we go. We choose how long we stay. We choose what we look at.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, sure, we'll do it.
What did that end up costing?
It was a little pricier than like I would have wanted, but it was $150 for 8 hours. And it's a private car, private driver, so.
Yeah, that's not bad. And he was very knowledgeable about the area and still gave us tons of information about everything. Yeah. So we had a really good time. So where did we go?
So the first place that we went to was actually Cholula. So while there, we visited El Santuario de la Virgen de los Remedios, which is a beautiful church set up on top of, actually, it looks like a mountain, but it was actually ancient pyramid that was built.
So they built a church on top of this pyramid, and one of the things that people like to do is to climb all the way up there. So this is what we chose to do after I was just getting over my altitude sickness.
And chose to do, I guess he was somewhat forced to do, but
yeah,
it was worth it.
Yeah. We were feeling it though. We were feeling it on the way up. We're still not at the top. That guy's outdoing us. Linda's right back here.
Taking a break.
She's taking a break.
But the view from the top of the pyramid is just absolutely beautiful. And the church is also very beautiful. So it's just nice to get those views up there. You see the whole city. You see all of Puebla in the background. So it's just pretty amazing. And you see also the volcano Popocatépetl. I think I said it right.
I don't know.
Yeah. People call it Popo.
Popo's easier.
It's just easier.
We just say there's Popo.
It just sounds a little weird to me, but.
And actually, there was smoke coming out of the volcano the entire time we were there.
Yeah.
It's an active volcano. Nobody seemed too concerned, so.
What's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst? Well, yeah. What's the worst that could happen?
So then we had the driver take us, and I'm going to have to look down and actually read this to you guys because it was a kind of complicated name. So we went to Tlaxcalacingo, and there we visited the Parroquia de San Bernardino.
It's a lot of tongue twisters in this place.
Yeah. So the next town that we went to that day, this one's a little easier, kind of, I think, for me to talk about. It's called
Puebla?
No.
What? I don't know.
Okay.
That is easier to say. Go ahead.
All right. Chipilo. So Chipilo, the reason why I wanted to visit, Paul mentioned already, I love Italy. I love everything that has to do with Italy, Italian food, Italian language, culture. And Chipilo is a city, I guess, town, that was settled by Italian immigrants into Mexico. And they basically speak like a bit of a combination between Italian and Spanish. I think what did they call it? Chipilian, Venetian?
Yeah, they had a name for it.
Yeah, there was a name for it. But basically, it's all the culture of Italy in this town. And all of the people that live there speak this dialect. They have, several like Italian restaurants, Italian like delis, where people just drive from the city every weekend and go and buy the cheeses and like sausage, deli type meats.
Yeah, it's like a lot of farming community around there and stuff. It's not like it's just made for It's not like a fake
No.
town like the other one, you know, like it's a
No,
themed town.
no.
It's a real town,
people.
real people, more of a farming town, but definitely a cool place to visit, you know.
So the next town that we visited was Athleisco. But you'll go into the Zócalo or the main plaza and you just see these beautiful flowers and also topiaries. There was one like of a turtle that was really cute.
Oh, yeah, they had.
Yeah, so like shapes of animals, just very colorful, very beautiful. They had like lots of little restaurants and shops. And one of the main things that the driver told us about was they were also famous for their ice creams. So we did have to,
She did.
I tried.
I'm lactose intolerant, didn't have a little pill with me, so.
Yeah, I tried a delicious
That
ice
would
cream.
have definitely cut the tour really short. If I'd had an ice cream there.
He would have probably kicked you out of the car.
He probably would have kicked me out of the car, yes.
And there, once again, we did go to a church. It's also another church.
That's a surprise.
On the top of the mountain. And it is quite a hike up there.
So Linda and I are on our, I like to call them death marches, our second march of the day.
He's so dramatic. It's very dramatic.
This is a guy who just laid in bed for a day and a half because he got altitude sickness. We said, hey, let's see if you're over that. Let's do a couple death marches up mountains. Are we at the top of this thing yet?
No, we're in the wrong way.
We went the wrong way? Well, it's the right way now. Let's go.
No, it's not going to get us there.
All right, apparently we went the wrong way on the death march, which makes it a longer death march.
But apparently it was still too much climbing because only one of us made it all the way up.
Yes, only one of us.
Yeah. And I'm going to look
It wasn't me.
Yeah, and there at the top of the mountain is the Capilla de San Miguel, del Archangel San Miguel. So the Chapel of St. Michael, the Archangel. Another really beautiful church. And the views from there are absolutely stunning. I think the last time we got the best pictures of the volcano from there. By the time we got there that day, it had gotten a little cloudy, so you couldn't see it as well. But it is beautiful and just a beautiful view of the entire area.
That was our last place that day, wasn't it?
That was the last place that day. One of the really cool things about Puebla, or that I think is also very cool about Puebla, is just a variety of like different restaurants that you could go to. Now, you know, Puebla is famous for their Mexican food, the moles, and, you know, of course we had some of that. We like that. But after so many days of Mexican food, you want to maybe have a little variety.
After years of Mexican food, because living in Mexico for years.
Yeah, so we did try some other really neat restaurants, a couple like rooftop places that were just stunning views. And if any of you follow the Facebook page, then you probably saw some of those beautiful photos also.
So we also went to a steak restaurant one night.
Yeah.
And just to give you an example, here's some scenes from that. It's a really nice place. You can see, you can pick out your steak. So we picked out our steaks and we actually ordered a bottle of wine off the wine list. And it was still right around under $80.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can't go to a steak restaurant of that quality and, in the U.S. and get out of there for $80 for what we ordered.
One of the things that we didn't get to do the last time we were in Puebla was go on the teleférico.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
So I convinced Paul to take me to the teleférico this time around.
I'm not a fan of heights.
Yeah, he doesn't really like it.
So she took me on that. We climbed mountains, things like that. Yeah.
Seems fun.
She does the planning.
And the nice thing about the teleférico is just the beautiful views that you get of the whole city. And we got to see some of the other like tourist sites from above.
So also where the teleférico is where they have the museum for the Battle of Puebla, which is Cinco de Mayo. When you're in the States and Cinco de Mayo comes, I mean, everybody's like,
oh, it's Mexican Independence Day.
Everybody thinks it's Mexican Independence
We're going to
Day.
celebrate, drink margaritas.
Yeah, we're all going to drink to it. And then you come to Mexico and nobody's celebrating Cinco de Mayo except at tourist areas and in Puebla because it was the Battle of Puebla. So that's
it's
one
not
of
Mexican Independence Day.
No.
It was where the Battle of Puebla was fought.
So if you're interested in that kind of history and everything, I mean, Puebla is a city rich with history and architecture. And a lot of churches, apparently, a lot of churches. So that's it. I mean, that's our first attempt at like a travel video. So if you liked it, give us a thumbs up. We have some more planned. because that's not the only trip we took in a really short period of time. We've been to a lot of places, and I have tons of footage to go through. So we have a few more of these coming out, right?
Now, if you get like 10,000 dislikes, maybe not.
Yeah, if I get 10,000 dislikes, we're not going to do any more of these.
No.
We're just going to stick with informational, right?
Yeah, and just you.
And yeah, just me? You're not going to do informational ones?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right, well, that's it for today.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.